Hi, I'm Kara, welcome to my channel. The last 3 years, I think, I've done at least some kind of reading bullet journal. 2021, I just kind of wrote down just the books I read each month. And then 2022, I did like a full reading journal with a bunch of different spreads, different like bookish challenges to do throughout the year, a book bracket. And then last year, 2023, I did kind of the same thing as 2022. I just upped it a bit and did like one full spread for each month instead of like the half spreads I was doing the previous year. All my 5-star reads, my favorite books of the month, stuff like that. This year for 2024, I wanted to go full out with my reading journal. But it's also not just a reading journal, it's kind of the whole media consumption journal. It's mainly for reading and bookish related things, but I also have places to put my top 10 songs I listened to that month, movies and TV shows I watched that month. I also have monthly spreads where I can also put important dates and my highlights of the month. And it's also a lot more artsy and creative than my past years' journals have been, because the last few years it's just been pretty basic, no doodles or anything. So this year I wanted to change that. With all that being said, here is my reading journal, front, back. I spent a good like 2 weeks working on this, and it's nothing too crazy, but it is a lot more than I've done in past years. So I'm now going to put in the actual flip through, and I'll meet you back here when that is finished. So here is my reading journal. I got it on Amazon, and I'll leave a link to it in the description. And I have some stickers on it right now. There's some blank space here, and you'll see there's a lot of blank space on the back because I like to add on different stickers I collect throughout the year. That's why I did my 2023 reading journal. So I just put some on that I already had that I wanted on the journal. Here's the ones on the front, and then here's the back. So a little about this journal. Last few years I've only really been doing digital art, so a goal of mine this year is to work on more physical artwork, drawing, painting, etc. And that's what I want to do with this journal, so I've made it a lot more creative than my past two. I'm very happy with how it's turned out so far. And the theme is mirror balls slash disco balls. I call them mirror balls because I am a Swiftie first and foremost, and also plants, just to fill in some extra space. And the color scheme is very simple, black, white, and gray with little pops of blue and green for the majority of it. There's also a bit of structure to this journal where the first part is filled with spreads that I will be filling out throughout the whole year, like ones I'll keep going back to each time I finish a book. And then the middle part is my monthly spreads, so I have a few pages for each month. And then there's 2 pages at the end for spreads that I won't touch until the end of the year. So kind of like yearly wrap-ups. And then I just have a bunch of space at the end in case I want to make new spreads or add something else. With all that being said, let's jump into the flip through. So here's the title page, 2024 reading journal. I took inspiration from a Pinterest title page I found. So this is kind of where the inspiration for the mirror balls came from. I did this title page first, and then as I was going through the journal, I needed something to take up some empty space, so I thought, oh, I'll just draw some more mirror balls. This first page is my book tracker squares. So each square will represent a book that I read in the year. And after I finish a book, I will come in and I will color each square. I've done this spread the last 2 years as well, but the difference is the past 2 years I've had 5 colors that each represent a star rating, and that's how I would color in each squares based on what I rated a book. But this year I have other spreads where I'm going to write the book rating, so I think this page I'm just going to color all the squares in with the same gray highlighter, just so it looks more cohesive. Then this next page is my journal bookshelf. For this one, I've again taken some inspiration from Pinterest, but I also made it my own. This is kind of where the plants came in. For the bookshelf, after I read a book, I will come in and I will write the title of the book on the spine and color it in. Again, probably just with the same gray highlighter. This is a new spread for me, so I'm excited to see how I will feel about it throughout the year. This page is another book tracker, but this time I'm going to print out and stick in the book covers of each book I read. Again, this page won't have ratings, just the book covers, so I can see them all in one place. And throughout the journal, I also utilized these kind of half pages, so I wouldn't have to redo the header multiple times. This is the last kind of book tracker I have for my whole year in books. This is what I call the book log. It's set up in kind of a spreadsheet style. So each line will be a different book, and I'll write the title, author, genre, the month I read it in, and the star rating for it. I have another half page here. Another page I messed up with. I forgot to cut off the top of this half page. This is my series tracker. I took some inspiration from a Pinterest spread I saw. Each of the little boxes is a different series. So once I finish the book, I'll go in, I'll color the box in. For books in the series that I read in 2023, I have colored them in a dark gray. And then books in the series that I read 2024, I'll color in with a light gray, just so I can clearly see which books in each series I read each year. Then I left some extra space for when I start more series. This page I had in my last reading journal as well. It's a Shadowhunters reading order because there is a bunch of different series in this world. So I wanted just a clear order of how I should be reading them. And again, dark gray boxes are going to be pre-2024 and light gray will be 2024. And then this page I took inspiration from, I think, someone on Instagram. It's a days I finished a book spread. So I have each calendar day here, and whenever I finish a book, I'll go to that day and color it in. And then at the end of the month, I'll come over here and write how many days in each month I finished a book. These are 4 different categories where I didn't feel the need to have a full page spread for them. So I gave them each a little quarter page spread. So I have my reading goals, my rating system, my ARC tracker, and my DNF graveyard. So this one's my reading goals, and they are read 100 books, get my physical TBR down to 30 books, which is ambitious, but going with it. Read out of my comfort zone, listen to more audiobooks, find some new authors, and work on writing book reviews. So I can work on writing better reviews for ARCs I receive. Down here is my rating system. You can pause to read if you want. It's just what I personally feel like each star rating means to me and how I rate. Up here is my ARC tracker. You can see I have 2 already. And then DNF graveyard. I also got inspiration for this from Pinterest, but I think Rachel Catherine either came up with it or she got inspiration from it, and I took the inspiration from her picture on Pinterest. So it's little tombstones, and whenever I DNF a book, I'll come in and I will write the name of the book. And then this is my new release tracker. So I have a box for each month, and I've written the name of the book and the date that comes out in the respective month for the release. As you can see, April is busy, specifically April 2nd. So I'll just add to this whenever a new book is released that I know I want to read. And I think throughout the year, once I read these new releases, I'll highlight it next. This is for my 5-star reads, similar to my book tracker where I put the covers of books. I'll just put the covers of all my 5-star reads of the year. I have another half page here, and honestly looking back, I don't think I needed this extra space, but I'd rather safe than sorry and have this included just in case. I'm really happy with how this page turned out. I love the way it looks. This is my book bracket for 2024. Now looking back at this, I actually did it wrong. I should have written the months outside of the box, but I guess now I'll be writing the titles somewhere else. These first boxes should have the title of my favorite book of each month. 2 months will go head to head, and I'll pick my favorite between those 2. Same going forward here, and then the last one will be chosen between these 4 books. The last 2 years I've had the months be consecutive, so January went against February, March went against April, but this year I kind of mixed it up. And then kind of hand in hand with that one, I have my books of the month page. I took inspiration from a Pinterest spread for this one as well. And I have 12 little books. They each have a month written on the spine. For my favorite book of each month, I'll put the cover on the cover of these books. This page is my 24 books in 2024. So I have 2 stacks here. So I have 12 books on each page. These are all books I own physically, because that's what I want to focus on this year, my physical TBR and getting that down. So I picked 24 books that I really want to get to in 2024. And then whenever I do read them, I will come in here and color them in. This is my physical TBR. It's a similar format to my book log, but this time I'll just have the title and the author. And I haven't written anything in it yet because I haven't done my book unhaul that I'm planning to do in the next few days, which that video should either be up already or be coming soon, where I'll also be telling you all my physical TBR books. So after I do that and I have my final physical TBR for the start of 2024, I'll come in and write all of them down. And then once I finish them, I will highlight them. And I have a half page for this as well. And whenever I buy new books throughout the year, I can come in and add them here as well. Now we get into some challenges that I want to do over the year. This one I took inspo from Pinterest again, Read the Rainbow Challenge. So this one is anytime I read a book with a pink cover or a green cover, purple cover, I'll put the cover picture in here. And then this is one I've done the last few years, the Alphabet Challenge. And I have my book bingo, again, something I've done the last 2 years, but I've changed it up a bit from my past ones. This side, I have the prompts, so finish a series, read a book with a number in the title, and then I have this page to show which books I read for each prompt, so I know which ones I did for each one. 2 different spreads on this one. So this one is my mid-year top 10 reads. So the end of June, I will go through all the books I've read and I will pick out my top 10 reads of the year so far. And I'll put a picture of the cover in here. Once again, I messed up the spacing, so it's a little weird. I fixed it in my end of year spread though, so you'll see that in a bit. This page was taken from a spread on Pinterest, and it's going to be for my TV I watched. So it's a bunch of different TV screens. These are blank. I don't have like a watch list, which you'll see I do have with movies in a second, because I don't watch a lot of new TV, and if I do watch TV, most of the time it's just background noise or I'm not really paying attention, and it's rewatches. So these are going to be for just if I watch a new show and I'm like totally focused on what is happening in the show, or it's a rewatch and once again I'm actually focusing on what's happening, it's not just background noise. So I'll write those in here. And then this is kind of my movie pages. I have a Regal Unlimited pass with my friend group, so I've made a little calendar kind of spread so I can put what movies we saw each month, because to make Regal Unlimited worth it, you have to go see at least 2 movies each month. So that is our plan for next year, because we haven't really been consistent the last year and a half we've had it. So this year I just want to track to see which ones we watch. And then this is a movie watch list for like streaming and stuff. And also I put some new movies that we'll be seeing in theaters. And these are mostly just movies that I've been meaning to watch for a while that I just haven't gotten to yet. Once I watch them, I'll color them in, and I left some space for other ones. Now we're gonna get into the monthly spreads. So far I've only set up January because I want to set up each month like the end of the month before, because the title pages are like my creative outlet for this journal, so I want to spread that out throughout the year and not just do them all at once. I've only done January so far, but it's going to be the same setup for each month. So here we have January, and I did the little Stranger Things alphabet because I'm going to a fan expo in January, and it's also my first fan expo convention type thing, which I'm very excited about. It's 3 days, but I'm only going the first day, and that first day there's a Stranger Things panel, so I'm going for that. And I'm also actually getting a photo with Joseph Quinn, so I thought it was fitting to put Stranger Things themed title page for January. And then I have this first page with a bunch of different sections. So up top I have my TBR for the month, and then I have all the books I read that month. Down here I have new releases, which is gonna have the same information as my release tracker. And I have a small little box for my DNFs of the month, which hopefully this year there won't be too many. Last year there was quite a few. And also a little box for books bought. Also, hopefully there won't be as many monthly as there has been this year. And then this page is split up into 4s. This first one is a social media tracker for YouTube and Instagram, because that's my 2 main social media forms for bookish things. And then I have my final monthly reading stat, so I'll fill this out the last day of each month. Total books read, physical books, ebooks, DNFs, ARCs, and audiobooks. And then down here I have important dates and monthly highlights. This page is for my media consumption that is not book related. So we have my movies watched, TV watched, and my top songs of each month. I have my books read, where I'll put the cover of each book I read that month along with the rating in this little highlighted slot. Then I believe I have 3 empty pages each month, because I want to do kind of like scrapbook collages for my favorite books of the month or an event that happened that month. All of these pages are for monthly spreads that I've planned out. So this is the last thing in the notebook right now. My end of year top 10, like my mid-year, the last day there I'll go back and I'll pick my top 10 of the whole year. And then I have my Spotify Wrapped, so I'll fill that out when Spotify Wrapped comes out. And then I also have a little concert tracker. So that is the last page of my reading journal for now. So that is my 2024 reading journal flip through. I hope it gave you a bit of inspiration, possibly. I'm definitely going to do an end of the year flip through once the whole journal is finished for the year. But I also might do like a mid-year flip through at the end of June, so let me know if you want to see that, where it's kind of halfway filled and you can see my progress for the year. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I will see you soon.